All right. Welcome to Paranormal 101. We're having some technical difficulties with the opening. So you've got me this week hosting, Sarah Paranormal. Mike has been kind enough to let the girls take over this week. So Cyn's running a little bit late. So I'm going to bring on our guest host today, Haiti Prestel, my best friend and partner. How are you, Haiti?
Good. How are you?
Good. I love the hair.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Just did it yesterday.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So we tried to do this last week and it did not go well. We had technical
difficulties. Yes, we had a lot of tech difficulties.
I was traveling. I was in Rhode Island for the Paranormal Party weekend with Black Island Ghost Tours and legit paranormal podcasts. And I was trying to do it from the hotel. It just didn't work. Mike was away because he was celebrating his anniversary. So the first thing I want to just say is that I need to be nicer to Mike because I did not realize how much actually goes into all of this and how difficult it is. And unfortunately, he was missed last week, but luckily he's giving us the opportunity to do this again. So
which is cool.
It's very cool. And we're going to do a little bit of a girl talk without the guys while the cat's away. Talk about girl stuff. While we're waiting for Cyn, I think I'm going to skip around a little bit here and we can just, talk about some fun stuff. So
if I'm looking away from the screen, I'm actually sharing our podcast onto our page and stuff.
Oh, awesome. Yes. Florida Paranormal Investigators. Yes. So Haiti, my love, I know you're happily married, but if you weren't, find you're single for a moment, remember back. If you were married and you had to create a paranormal Tinder profile.
Oh boy.
What would you say?
It's funny because I've never created one before.
Oh, right. Are you trying to attract that ghost loving man? What do you got?
The ghost loving man. My interest is like abandoned building, historical site, talking to nothing in the dark, waiting for a response.
Whispering sweet nothings to myself.
Would
you add? Would you add open to adding a third, but they must be a ghost?
No.
That's
too much.
Too
much for me.
No. Okay. Do you want to hear mine?
Yes, I do.
I would also add long romantic walks through abandoned catacombs.
Yes.
I would like a pale.
I want to do that. So.
We can do that. We don't need a man. But anyways.
Yeah.
I would like a nice pasty gentleman who wears Victorian
era.
Pasty one. Really pale. Wears Victorian era clothing. Hi, Cyn. Cyn, we will catch you up. Cyn Shrader Hill, author. Right now we are discussing what our paranormal Tinder profiles would be. So this is what you're walking into right now. Okay. So far, Haiti bombed it. She doesn't know.
I never created an online dating profile.
I didn't either, but we're pretending. Mine is long walks through abandoned catacombs with a very pasty gentleman in Victoria era garb. I would like him to enjoy nibbling on the neck, only goes out at night, and lives in early 1800s New Orleans. So my question to you, Cyn Shrader Hill, would you go Lestat or Louis?
Or who? Lestat or who?
Louis. Interview with a Vampire. We're talking about Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise.
Brad. I'm a Brad girl.
Gotta go Brad Pitt.
You gotta go Brad Pitt. You gotta
go. Yeah.
Is there anything you would add to your Tinder profile? Your paranormal Tinder profile, Cyn?
I would have to put Love's Haunted Scottish Castles.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Have to.
Yep.
Because I want to see some kilts. I don't care if they're ghost
Yes.
kilts. You know?
Is it that I've bought my husband a kilt because we're also big Ren Fair people? It's the only way I could live.
I won't wear one.
No, I have my husband and my almost 2-year-old son has a kilt.
I'm so jealous. I am way jealous.
Every man needs a kilt.
Wow.
They don't realize.
We're not going to go with whether or not they should be wearing anything under the kilt, and we're just going to move on to the next question.
Are they supposed to wear something underneath? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a given. They're not supposed to.
Ladies are
Sorry. I mean, you asked about my profile, so I don't want them to have anything on underneath.
There's a lot of strong breezes in Scotland. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at her smile.
Yeah, there is.
Yes.
There is.
Yes.
There is. When I got into the field, my role model was Amy Bruni. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yes, I love her.
I love her. I love her because she's so much of a regular person. You know, she's herself. She's a mom. She's she's probably our age. I'm just wondering if, Haiti, did you have any strong female role models when you were entering the field?
Honestly, no. I mean, because I was also when I got into this, I was 5. So it was more like what I got out of books and, what my dad was watching on the Discovery History Channel. So that's kind of what I grew up learning. And it wasn't until later on, well into my teens, I got into the shows and people in the field. I didn't really know anybody in the field. It was more my interest started way before me knowing anyone.
Right. How about you, Cyn? Did you have any strong female role models?
She was mine as well.
Amy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so she's a good one, and it's because, and she leads so much with her heart. And so the reason I want to talk about that is we've got such an overwhelming response from young women watching this show, just saying, oh, it's great to see strong women who are in the field. So
we actually got a message personally from a young girl who watched the podcast and watched, and was appreciated that it was all strong women, in the field talking about it. And I was like, oh, it made me feel nice.
Do you see yourself that way, Haiti? Do you see yourself as a role model for
No.
girls? No?
I don't, but I mean, if I can be, then that's great.
I mean, I would think you would be, because there's not a lot of women on the tech side, of the paranormal field into the tech.
Yeah.
So, it's important for women to see they can enter this field and they can join a team, and they don't have to just be, I don't want to stereotype here, but I think the way that television portrays it is the female is the medium. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the guys are the investigators. How about you, Cyn? Do you see yourself as a role model? Or do you ever think about that when you're doing these podcasts and things?
Not until you just mentioned it. No. If I am one, I hope I'm setting a good example.
Yeah, that's what I hope too.
Well, we can only be ourselves, right? And so, because there's so many different types of people in the field and coming into the field, I think that each one of you ladies are going to resonate with someone. That's a definite. So, moving on to, we're role models, okay? So that should sort of affect our behavior. while we're out and about in the world.
Yes.
What do you guys think about the fact that there's so much almost sexualization of women in the paranormal field? And let me explain that. When I entered, I was really eager to get out there, and I got contacted by a lot of people, and they were mostly men because mostly men had the teams. And I would become invested. I might go on an investigation. I might do a lot of legwork. And all of a sudden, really subtly, an ulterior motive would kind of maybe sneak in there a little bit. And it would be, have you had experience with that, Cyn? Have you had an experience where you've sort of felt like maybe there was a quid pro quo or some sort of like sexualization when you were just trying to be
No, because well, maybe when I first started, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was trying to learn from a mostly male team. And nothing against those guys, because they taught me. This is Ghost Hunters of Southern Tennessee, Wayne and James. They were fantastic in teaching me the basics and helping me get those building blocks. Were they ever underhanded? No. There was respect there, and maybe because I'm older, and I don't have that. Darn it! No, I'm kidding.
Darn it! Why have I not been sexually harassed? Do you want me to sexually harass you, Cyn? I will. What about from the other end then? What about female jealousy then, Cyn? Have you experienced any of that, like with catty female behavior?
There's always that in everything. But guys can be catty too.
That's true.
Yeah. So I don't stay around those
types of people.
Yeah. No.
So it's not necessarily a gender, it's a human type of personality.
Yeah. It's too dramatic. I can't do it.
Okay. Yeah, it's all about like setting those boundaries right up front.
So how do you do that, Katie? How do you set the boundary up front? How do you set the boundary? You're walking in, you're a person.
I mean, I think I think situations like this happens a lot for people first starting to go in and learning and things like that. I think definitely it happens more with beginner, like people investigating, with teams for the first time, more often so than like people who've been in for a while. Whether it's because they've now like grew a reputation, or there's just more, you get to know the people more and things like that, and a mutual respect grows. But I definitely feel when you first start going into it, I mean, and again, I can play like both sides, where it's like it's okay if you also use this as a thing to like hook up, like that's your thing. It's more about being respectful to the other person and not crossing those boundaries if they don't want to.
Right.
Like if the person's flat out saying no, like don't go beyond this, or that's completely different. Whatever people want to do within the field, and I know like certain teams where like everybody was hooking up with everybody, and it was crazy. But they all got along, and I was like, hey, that's your thing. That's your thing. It happens, I guess. I can't fully bash it because I met my husband investigating. So there's the upside. Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, I think for me going in the tech side, it's not more harassment. It's more like I feel like I have to take more of a stand to feel heard when it comes to explaining phenomena or equipment or things like that. When it comes to the tech side, I feel like I mean, I not so much now, and I've met great people in the field and great men in the field and stuff. But I know starting off in tech and stating my opinions or stating things, like I felt like I always had to like voice more or like try to stand up more or hold my ground more than what the other younger would. But again, that's also just in the tech field in general and women in the tech field. Anything like that. It's why that is, I'm not sure, but
yeah, I don't know. And it probably doesn't help that you're kind of physically tiny as well. So I feel like the smaller you are, the more you just tend to be like talked over. But
yeah, I'm only 5'1". I'm also tiny, but I'm like, listen, I have like a personality like a chihuahua.
So since Haiti brought up relationships, and we're going to hear your little romance story in a bit, but I want to ask Cyn.
It's not very romantic, but okay.
Okay.
Because young girls are watching, what do you think about dating within a team, or when you're stuck, you're in these dark places? We've established already, we all find these creepy places romantic. What do you think? Should dating or commingling or whatever you want to call it within a team as we're forming our teams be forbidden? Should it be like almost a rule? I've been on teams briefly where like it was a rule. They were like, you cannot date anyone on the team. What are your thoughts on that, Cyn? Would you ever date, if we're, again, pretend we're single, anyone you were on a team with?
It can be great for a little while, and then if something happens, it can be really bad. So I'm thinking no. No. There can always be that thought there to, ooh, he's kind of cute. He's kind of cute. Maybe I'd like to, but then I'm thinking no. That's just personally me. But would I ban it? No. I'm not going to ban it.
No, I mean, you can't ban people from that type of thing anyway.
Make that a rule. I'm not going to make that a rule,
Yeah.
No. I feel like I would be the mom then if I'm going around. No.
Consenting adults.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking about it?
I think I agree with you. I mean, I think that it's probably likely for some type of sexual relations to sometimes happen within a team with single people. I'm putting that as a caveat to everything, by the way, so I don't have to keep repeating it.
Right.
But you're spending long hours together, overnight locations. I probably see my Haiti and Mikey and the rest of my team more than I see my husband most of the time. So, if you have someone you're attracted to on the team, is it going to happen? And I think that's where it depends on the people. If you can separate sex from a relationship or getting involved, but anytime there's drama, it hurts a team, and there's nothing that causes more drama than sex. So
that's right.
It's probably not a great idea. However, this one over here, Miss Haiti, you want to tell us a little bit about your little love story?
So we weren't on the same team. We were on separate teams. So just getting that one out there. But it is, me meeting it was hilarious because first of all, we went it's not like I went in thinking, oh yeah, I want that guy like first day. No, it's after a few investigations and like getting to know each other, you build that relationship,
right?
And that's what ended up happening. And when it comes to like dating in the field, it can become like difficult in the beginning because it's like you're still getting to know each other, and we're on separate teams, and jealousy can end up happening. The drama happens, and but it's because you're also growing together and getting to know each other at the same time. And obviously, it's like, yeah, I met him investigating, and now like I'm going off investigating at night with other people and other teams and things like that. So
Buddy's gonna keep trolling me all night. Sorry, Haiti.
No, that's fine.
This went on during the clip show too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm grateful. I met I have my son, and he's a great father and stepfather for my daughter, and I wouldn't change anything that happened. So I feel like I lucked out. It doesn't happen like this for everybody. Exactly. Yeah. But one difference is it's like we have that common ground, but that definitely can't be the only common ground. I hear a lot of people like, yeah, we have this in common, and like it, but it's like, is it just this? Because when you can't do this, then what do you have after? Because for a period of time, like when me and my husband, Mikey, were trying to start a family, we stopped investigating for a while. We lost that common ground, and luckily we had more than just the paranormal that we liked within one another.
Let's stay on that for a second. So like, because sometimes, Cyn, I look at their relationship and I almost get a little bit jealous because my husband, he's incredibly supportive of what I do and everything I want to do, but he's just not interested in doing these things with me. And sometimes like I get a little sad, like I'm like, oh, I wish I had that, especially, they're at home watching all the same crazy stuff, and we're fighting over putting like a paranormal TV or football on the television. So I want to ask you, Cyn, like, I don't, how important do you think it is if you are going to go into being a paranormal investigator that your partner shares that interest? Is it important?
Greg he says that's your thing.
Yeah.
Since we lost Wyatt, now he has stepped up, and he is my support when we go to book signings and paracons and things like that. So because Wyatt was a little ham, he was everywhere and all over the place. But Greg has stepped into that spot for me. As far as investigations, I always ask him, would you like to go? I don't think so. It's normally his answer, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I have the team. And
I think what's the most important is he's supportive, and he is okay with you, going out and investigating and and all that. And I think that's the most important part is not only is you don't have to find someone who's also into the field, but like someone who's just supportive. But that's with anything, like always be supportive of your partner's like ventures and stuff like that. So.
But says the woman who her and her husband are like, you're so on the same page about how you spend your money. It's like, of course we're buying paranormal tech. What else would we do with all of our spare cash?
We're not always on the same page. Okay.
And then they'll just text me, hey, we got a drone. Okay.
Wow.
Which they did.
Yeah.
But like I have to have those not necessarily arguments, but discussions about like, you spend how much on what? Like, then it's vacation time, and it's like, I just want to go to the beach and I'm relaxed. And I'm like, but is the beach haunted? Because if I'm going to spend money to go somewhere, there better be something haunted there when I get there.
Well, you know what? It doesn't also help. My daughter is a mini me, and she's 8 years old and wants to start investigating. So now it's become like a whole family event where it's like now we look for ghost tours. to do together. And
do you worry about her going since she's so young?
No, only because she's had experiences since she was little, and she's always been able to handle herself. And it's funny because she is such like a skeptic. Like she we'll watch I'll put on the shows and she's like, that's Photoshop, and I'm like, and like we went to the old jail in St. Augustine, and they like threw us in a prison, all lights off, like stark. We're standing there, and I'm like, are you okay? Like usually she sleeps with a nightlight, so I was like, are you? And she's just like sitting looking at me like, yeah, I'm fine. Like what? And I was like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm like,
when she
you
said,
got this.
10 minutes ago that she wasn't a role model for any young female paranormal investigators, because it's kind of sounding like you are.
I'm thinking she is too.
I'm kind of thinking your daughter is like gonna follow in your footsteps.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
See. I mean, I can't wait till she's old enough that I can actually bring her to more locations that will allow her to go. So that would be really cool.
Okay. Yeah. So Cyn, aside from the things we've already talked about, what do you think might be an important issue that's facing women thinking about coming into the field? Because this is 101, right? So we're talking about people who are coming into the paranormal field, and right now we're talking about women's issues because we've had so many young girls watching. So if you would say this is something you definitely need to consider before coming in as a woman, because it's different, can you think of anything?
Yeah. And even now, for anybody interested in getting into it or whatever, you need to learn as much as you can, read as much as you can on every subject you can find paranormal wise, whether it's equipment, because you really need to know what each piece does, at least have an idea. You know, you don't have to know all the ins and outs of everything, like the millimeter. You have to know how to take it apart. You know, no, you just need to know have a basic knowledge of just everything, how to be safe on an investigation, how to open and close an investigation, how to use objects if you want to learn that, like a pendulum, Ouija board. If you want to do that, you've got to be safe with it. Recorders, even, because when you think of it, a recorder and a pendulum are kind of Ouija boards. It's all communication.
It's opening communication.
They are.
So you got to remember to open and close it safely. You don't want it to stay open. I'm just saying, read everything you can. That way, when you come into the field, you have a basic knowledge, and you can always, because we're still learning. All of us are still learning
all the time,
every day.
Yeah.
And you find something that you like. Like my thing is EVPs. I love EVPs.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Some people would rather use, just go looking for shadow people.
Right.
You find what you like to do best and build on it. But have a basic going in.
Actually, Heidi's favorite part is orbs. That's her thing.
Really?
Katie is all orbs.
Not at all.
Day. Like, give me those orbs.
I'm the one who has to explain what each one is to clients.
We make people. She's the one we make people like. That's a bug. That's a bug.
I really think, like, this what, like, we got sent what, like, she genuinely believed her son was interacting with, like, this orb, and I'm like, it is a spider on a web. I'm so sorry. I'm like, that doesn't, and I always, and I tell them, like, listen, just because I can explain this doesn't dismiss what you're feeling, what you're experiencing. It's just this instance, this can be explained. I'm like, but that doesn't dismiss everything. So, and I feel like I always have to say that because when I go to explain something, it's like I'm saying everything they're saying is fake, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's just this is what can be explained so far.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
the thing is like, again, so we've learned these things, and I always tell people that I'm trying to teach to, don't trust anyone that tells you they know everything. If someone's like, I know this in this field, run the other direction, because none of us really know. We're all learning from each other all the time, and at the end of the day, we found correlations, things that make sense because they keep happening over and over, right? But we don't know the causation. We don't know why ghosts are, what they're made of, or what tech can really even really detect them. We don't actually have technology that you can point it and go like, there's a ghost over there.
Right.
It sort of has to be a bunch of things that are coming together. But I just feel, yeah, experience. Exactly. And you have to get that experience. The thing that worries me about females, only from my own experience, is being able to get that experience in a safe way where you can learn without feeling like you're beholden to someone. And it's not that all guys are bad. Like, I'm not trying to say all men are bad at all. I think it happens more than a lot of guys realize, that you're kind of almost meant to feel like you owe something. So I'm glad that we have this show with women on it, so that if young women have questions, they have females they can go to ask questions. And it doesn't mean that the guys aren't safe. I don't want to put that out there at all. Haiti, like, do you have any thoughts on issues that might be affecting women more so than men coming into the field?
Just recently, our team's already dealt with certain things about men overstepping boundaries and trying to, like, we have one case where we ask, again, we don't claim to know everything. If we don't know something, we will go ask other people, other organizations, teams, whatever, for help. And this person felt that they could walk all over us and try to steal our client, although we were trying to collaborate and work together. And to the point where they were like lying, saying that we cut them off and all this stuff. And it's like, why do you think that's okay? Like, that's not okay. And why do you think that's okay to do to, because he mainly talks to me and Sarah. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not, and that's where, I'm like, I keep receipts. I keep, my conversations. I had to prove to our client that we didn't just cut off this person and that we're not lying. And it's like, I shouldn't have to do that. I feel like no one else has to do this.
Wow.
Like, why do we have to do this? And I feel like this person may have thought that they could belittle us because, we were two females, talking and asking for assistance. But I think women need to remember to stand their ground and don't ever lower, think you need to keep your mouth shut or you're afraid to say what you feel, believe, stand your ground and keep doing that. Because there's and it's not just men, it's women too, who are gonna try to overstep and walk over, and just continue being yourself and don't let people walk all over you, pretty much. Because we've had this happen on more than one occasion where people felt like that was okay. When we were trying to work together with other people, and it's like, this is not okay.
Do you feel like that's happening more now than it did, like, say, when you first started? Because I feel like it's getting like bad out there, like real catty. like on both sides. Men fighting with men, women fighting with women.
I personally, this was the first time I ever, like, this was the first year I've ever encountered situations like this where I was like,
me.
this
I'm
is
a magnet
ridiculous.
for it. But what about you, Cyn? Have you noticed a ramp up, or you're just kind of like good in your little world in Elk Valley and everyone's nice? Or maybe in Florida? I don't know. Like,
in the first group I was in, there was a guy. I could not stand him. Mm-hmm. It was just personality conflict. He was a skeptic in the group, which you have to have. And really, everybody needs to be skeptical about everything so you can kind of figure out what might be paranormal and what is not completely not. So always be skeptical. But this guy was skeptical to a point of trying to put you down for any kind of idea you might have, or skeptical on any kind of feeling you had. Like, I'm a little sensitive. I'm a little bit sensitive. I know I'm not a medium. I'm not psychic or anything like that, but I can feel when things change, or if there's something around me. And he would be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, yeah, I do. And you don't. So you just got to know to walk away. It's just walk away. It's not worth arguing with those kind of people, because they, as my grandmother said, they're just sticks in the mud. They're just sticks in the mud. And they're going to hold their ground and argue about anything and everything. So walk away.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, because we're in such like an existential field. Like, it's like, people, none of us know this. It's not like, like, why are we fighting about it? Like, I don't understand the concept of, I might not believe in this, but I'm not saying you can't.
It's all
about
like,
I'm like, if they're not doing any harm, don't let them believe what they want to believe. But if they're like, going into residential, scaring people, saying everything's like demons and stuff like that, then that's when you have to step up and be like, all right, enough is enough. But other than that, like you said, there needs to be a healthy balance of skepticism and belief to be able to be even open enough
and
to look at the other side.
If something comes up that one of your team members brings something up, you don't quite agree, don't fight in front of the client. Go away, go outside, discuss it. Don't fight about it anyway, because everybody's opinion is valid. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
And your opinion is valid. Just talk it out, but don't do it in front of a client, because the client sees you as not knowing anything. Then you're like, oh, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I already think it's hard. Most of the leadership in our team is female, meaning me and Haiti. And then there's Mikey and Bill. And so, like, now that I said that, I'm just like, do we run over Mikey and Bill?
No. I mean, I'm Mikey's wife, so that's my job.
But sometimes I'm like, do we listen to them? Or are we like, Mikey, Bill?
No, we listen.
That's a good point. I would be investigating on Saturday. I'd be like, maybe it's be nice to Mikey Bill. And listen to them a little bit more.
They're going to bring this up to you.
Huh?
I know.
Well, Billiam won't, because he's probably at work. Billiam's always at work. He deals cards, so we're not going to tell him, because he's going
to find out.
We'll do a test right now. We'll see if Billiam's nickname is Billiam Baggins. That's his full nickname. If he's watching, he's going to be really pissed right now.
That last name?
It's not.
I would be.
I just call him Billiam Baggins, and he hates it.
I would too.
It's a horrible nickname.
It is. It is.
It really is. Where was I going with this? Okay, anyways. I never say this, but I kind of miss Mike right now. Anyway, we talked about being nicer to Mike before you came on, Cyn. And so Hades not here all the time, but you as a, like, you're a hardcore, legit person. When we had our tech difficulties last week, I did not realize how much he did.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing how much he does. Yeah.
He does. And he does it, like, for all of us and never, like, really asks for anything in return. So I just to put that out there because the guys don't talk about their feelings. And this is girl talk. But we're going to appreciate Mike more.
All right.
I'm still going to give him a hard time on anything I can.
We should absolutely give him a hard time. I mean, I know he's watching this right now, but he's not on camera, so he can't say anything, Cyn. Is there anything you want to say to Mike right now?
No, not right now. I'll think
about it. Think about it.
Yeah. Do you have something to say?
I said something nice already. I still have to think of something snide to say. We're not going to ask Katie.
I'm not odd enough.
Yeah.
This is only my second one.
We went last weekend. I got to meet Mike and Rick briefly, Buddy, because he wasn't there for too long, but I got to meet everyone at the Paranormal Party weekend. It was a blast. I wish you were there, Cyn. Haiti, I will be dragging you to one of these, just so you know. In fact, we should all go and get with Rick and investigate Block Island because it is.
Oh yeah,
I call it Sad Island now because it has the saddest history, but it's so beautiful and everyone's having fun. It's such a weird juxtaposition, like it's crazy. And then the magic show that Rob did, who works with Rick, Mike calls him handsome, the magician.
Yeah.
He's not fucking kidding. The kid's hot.
Is he?
But not, like, I'm not even saying that in a creepy way. Here, I am being.
That was a little creepy.
Like, he's one of those people who's just, like, objectively good looking. Like Angelina Jolie. Like, you're not going to look at her and go, yeah, she's a dog.
Okay. When you put it that way.
Right?
Yeah. No, yeah.
And Rick gives an amazing, amazing ghost tour. Amazing. And they're just, like, the nicest people. So we're definitely going to go. There's one here, I'll plug it right now. Another one, August 25th to 27th. I can't go to that one. I think little Julie's going to go. I don't know why I just called her little.
Really? And she just went in her head, why did she call me little?
I know.
She called me little. She seems so sweet to me compared to me. She seems sweet to me compared to me. Okay? I'm an ass. So we'll get there eventually. We're going to get there. We're going to investigate. It's probably going to be winter, and the Florida girls are going to freeze our asses off. How cold does it get in Tennessee? Where you are, Cyn? Does it get like where you are? How cold does it get? Like super cold?
It just depends. I
have a feeling this place is really cold in the winter, but also
yeah.
We're also coming from Florida.
Right by the water up there, so
yeah,
I'm thinking a little bit more so than Florida.
Our water temperature right now is like 100 degrees. Is the beach.
I was so happy when I went to Block Island and I put a foot in the water because it was actually cold. Like
it was refreshing.
Yeah, we go to the beach here and it's like taking a 110 degree bath. It's not even nice. It's not even nice outside.
No.
Oh my God.
So if you stuck your toe in and it was cold then, just imagine winter.
We could all do the polar bear plunge.
No.
You can do it.
No,
if
right
I've
now.
had enough to drink.
No.
I'll hold a towel for you.
It's just like, no.
You guys go right ahead.
No. One thing Black Island does not have that Florida has: cocaine sharks.
That is true.
We have cocaine sharks now in Florida.
Our sharks are fun.
Cocaine sharks. Did you see Cocaine Bear?
I did see about it. I did not watch it, but
I did.
That's based on a true story.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're basically doing the same thing, like when they're bringing the drugs back and forth, like I'm assuming it's off the coast of like Miami. They're just, when they see in law enforcement, they're just dumping all the cocaine overboard and the sharks are eating it. Like they've seen sharks chowing down on bales of cocaine. Can you imagine?
They notice the sharks are being really erratic and like swimming in circles and not
This is what they said on the news. Cyn, they said the scientists are calling it crazy brain. That is what they called it. This is the scientific term for the cocaine shark. It has crazy brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening in Florida.
You don't want to be around a shark anyway, but on top of it, you're just asking for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've never done cocaine myself.
Not me either, and I don't want to.
Does it give you the munchies? I don't know why I'm looking at you. Haiti, have you done cocaine?
I went to beauty school, so that's all I'm going to say. And no, it doesn't. No, I do not do that anymore. I never really liked it.
Dropouts playing in the background. I mean, you can tell she went to beauty school. Look at her hair.
I know, right?
She did that herself. Do you think she'd do my hair, Cyn?
I do think she would.
Would you do my hair?
A lot. I'm like, you have so much.
Like I have a lot. It's like all this. It's like that would take a long time.
Listen, I'm already reviewing evidence, doing the docu-series. I don't have time. And that's another thing I think that's important, especially like women go into field with like families and stuff. It's work-life balance, and this. And, I work full time. I have 2 kids, and then I, do the investigations, and it's like trying to manage and find the time to do it all. Have a calendar. Write everything down. Make a list is what I can recommend.
Do you have a hard time with that, Cyn? The whole work-life balance thing?
I do. That's why I've backed off so much investigating.
Right.
Just backed way off.
Yeah.
It's just hard to find.
Well, I'm sure with like writing and everything too.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That takes a lot.
And once you get an investigation done, then you're not done because you got all of the evidence to go over, which is sometimes 3 and 4 times as long as the investigation is.
So, because it's different devices of like 8 hours, 6 hours, however long you are. Each device is that much, like how many hours you investigated that you have to go through. And I think also our mistake when we first started was we were booking residentials like back to back almost. And I'm like, we don't have any time for review to review any evidence. And I'm like, no, we got to like spread this out way more. Like maybe 1 or 2 a month. Because we were literally getting that many cases coming in, like residential cases. I'm like, we have to spread this out. Like, you always want to like help people, like stop what you're doing to help a family, especially one who's like really in need. But at the same time, it's like I can't be as thorough as we can if we keep doing this back to back. So,
and I feel like that was our emotional side. Like if somebody called, and said they were afraid to sleep in their home, or their kids were afraid, we'd go running. Cyn, you don't do residentials, correct? Or don't do them?
No, we do.
Do you?
Okay.
So, like, you understand what I'm saying, right? You feel that, like, so have you ever, someone's played on that emotional side, that instinct kicks in, they call you, they're like, oh, Cyn, we're so scared to sleep in our house, please come help, and you get there, and they've called all the neighbors over because they're all excited that the paranormal team is coming, and then you go into their house, and they got Ouija boards and shit everywhere, and you're like, what the heck? Do you have that, Cyn?
That's where your questionnaire comes in.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
The
true.
questionnaire is king. You get them to fill out
Yep.
every question they can. And I mean, you ask detailed questions. And
Yeah.
once all that starts, um, we don't see, we might have, I don't know, let's just say 5 write in and say, we really need some help.
Mhm.
And 2 of them won't even fill out the questionnaire.
Mhm.
Okay. So they're wanting a show, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to fill anything out because they don't have enough going on to make us come out there. I don't know. The other 3, they might fill out some things and leave questions so that when you reach out to them again and ask them specifically, okay, what exactly are you talking about here? So you might get rid of 2 more there, and
Yeah.
you're down to
Well,
1 in
now
help.
we're also stating that we do background checks on all residential cases because we need to know what we're walking into. And some people are like, oh.
Which is a safety thing, which is
It's a
good for
safety thing.
everybody to know, not just women. I gotta say, I was naive when my cat's about to tear the entire wall down, just so y'all know. She was not supposed to be in here. A couple of times I have just gone because I'm like, I don't know who I think I am. I'm like some sort of paranormal avenger.
She was just going off like meeting these people for interviews. I'm like, you need to be careful.
And Mikey's like, so there's like a pretty severe violent criminal and drug record over there. Did you go there? Did you go there? And I'm like, yes, I did.
Oh.
And yeah, because I think I'm paranormal Wonder Woman, apparently. But so we have to like consider our own safety. So there's other factors other than the ghosts. Because I can be like, I'm not afraid of the paranormal. And I'm right.
Did she freeze?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I froze.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you got it. You're good.
Spectrum.
What were you saying? What were you saying?
We should all be a little afraid of people. Like we should all be on our. So whether we're going into someone's home or we're going into, a historical location. If you're new, you're starting out. What are just some simple safety steps? I think a great one is Life 360 because you can put the app on your phone. My husband can see where I am all the time. And I can even silently send off an alarm to alert him that I might need help. Does me no good if he's on an airplane flying it. However, I know it's there. I can set it up with my kids too.
And he can get that to authorities.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think another thing is it's not just residential cases you should do background checks. If you're starting a team and you're getting members from gathering people that you don't know, they should be background checked. I remember one time when I was back in New Jersey, I'm like, I'm gonna start a team and I'm just gonna like find random people to join, and legit like one investigation, luckily it was like daytime and we were just doing a walk through the property. This guy owned like 11 acres. It was ridiculous. But like while I'm in the woods with like my new teammate, he's like expressing how like all of his psychological disorders and like how his therapist said that he was like psychotic and he like diagnosed as one, and all this I'm like, oh my god, I'm in the woods with you right now. Like I need to go right now.
Katie, we look like so
I'm okay, obviously.
Yeah. But after those 2 stories, we look like such.
But again, beginners' mistakes of like people who, again, our feelings come into play when we want to help families. And then when we're starting off as a team, we give the benefit of the doubt that you might be.
Yeah, because you're so good.
Yeah.
Cyn, do you know any self-defense? You know any moves?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Would you?
Well, now I carry pepper spray and a
taser.
taser. Yeah.
We're armed. I
My
do a little bit of kickboxing, but I'm not confident in those abilities. If it was like a street fight,
right.
like first of all, well, I've got the nails, so those could either slow me down or help me because you could just like eyeball it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to like. We're also going into abandoned places by ourselves, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I even took a. It was called. Oh, it's not Pretty in Pink, but something like that. It was a
Mhm.
women's self-defense course,
Yep.
and that was phenomenal. It was, it was, it was good. It was really good. We had
That's
had
awesome.
pads that we could, hit and everything, and get some aggression out because
They
Yeah,
brought-
that's cool.
yeah, it's good. That's why I like kickboxing because you can punch and
Yes.
kick stuff. And when I did flight attendant training, they brought people in from like New York City to train us like how to defend the plane because everyone knows if the plane's taken over by terrorists as a flight attendant, you're dead meat. Like that door is not opening. You're gonna either fight through it or you're gonna die. So
Right.
you know, it's not a bad idea to maybe take some courses like that. Maybe bring some protection with you. We're gonna be running out of time here soon, so. Let's just go around and say if we had one piece of advice, and I'll not just for the girls, but for anyone new starting out who feels like they may be in a more vulnerable position because they are brand new. Cyn, you said read it all the time. We talked about the protection, knowing as much as we can, knowing your teammates. Anything else you want to add to that, Cyn?
Be skeptical.
Be skeptical.
On everything and try to figure out a real reason that something happened. Why did the chair slide across the floor? Was it really paranormal? Find out as much as you can.
Awesome. Haiti.
Be open-minded because you're going to be around so many people with different backgrounds, not just, going into homes with different beliefs, going into working with alongside people with different backgrounds, beliefs, and things like that. And being open-minded. I know we've gotten backlash, with the whole, like we practice, witchcraft and things like that. When it goes into the paranormal, there's that stigma where like it's evil, and it's like, no, not necessarily. Like, and it's about education and learning. I've spent most of when I went to a Roman Catholic college and studied theology and try to learn as much about different religions and just to stay open-minded and to be more understanding. I even recently just finished taking a demonologist course because I wanted to know more. Not that I may not believe in it, but so many people do. And it's just being open-minded to different beliefs and different things. Just so I think one, you can get have a better understanding with the people around you and what's going on.
All right. So those are good ones. So we've got be skeptical, be open-minded. Those things go together well, even though they don't sound like they do. I'm going to add to that, always trust your gut.
Yes.
We as women are taught not to trust our guts when we're little. I feel like that's kind of throughout our culture. So no matter who you are, trust your gut, but especially if you're a woman, if you don't feel safe in a situation, you probably aren't. So
that's right.
We're going to go with that. And we're going to wrap it up. So, Cyn Shrader Hill author, you got anything going on?
I'm still accepting stories. So if you've got any spooky stuff, I'm going to bring a spooky book out of true ghost stories by Halloween. And then the It's Not Goodbye, Signs from Beyond sequel will be out next year. So I'll be taking stories about near-death experiences, our family coming back to say hi, coins that you find, feathers, signs,
awesome.
pets even coming back. So,
is that the one that I gave you my story for?
yes.
Oh, is that the one you did? Okay,
Yeah.
I've had a near death experience, but it
So
wasn't anything
message
pleasant.
Cyn when we're done.
Yeah.
Katie, you want to do the FPI thing, or you want me to do it?
You could do it. If you forget anything, I'll fill it in.
Okay. So for my best friend Haiti and myself, Florida Paranormal Investigators, we are starting to film our new docu-series Beyond Boundaries Paranormal at the Mirador Inn in Brooksville, Florida this weekend. Not sure when those are all going to come out. We're going to try and tape a bunch of episodes at once and then release them. But you can subscribe on FloridaParanormalInvestigators.org. Follow us at, Instagram, Florida Paranormal. And we have our Facebook, FPI, Florida Paranormal Investigators, and TikTok. Haiti, you want to add anything?
To go with our docuseries, we actually are looking for people to interview that have both paranormal, ghost spirit activity, and extraterrestrial that's more than just UFO sighting. So if you've had both, please contact us, and we'd love to interview you.
All right. Anything else? We good? All right, ladies. Thank you for the girl chat. And for Cyn Shrader Hill, Haiti, and myself, Sarah Paranormal, this was Legit Paranormal 101 for legitpodcast.com. I hope everyone has a good night. If you have any paranormal questions, just go on Legit Paranormal's Facebook page and message them, and maybe hopefully we'll get some Q&A. We can answer some stuff. All right.